Hello and welcome to Fox Netball. I'm Emily Ferguson here ahead of Game 3 of the Constellation Cup series. I'm lucky to be joined by former Diamonds captain Keely Butler and obviously a star goal defender. Thanks so much for being here with us today, Keely.
No worries, thank you for having me.
No worries. We'd firstly like to acknowledge the traditional owners of the land on which we meet today, the Wurundjeri people of the Kulin Nations. Now today we're just going to do a bit of a recap on the first two games of the Constellation Cup series for the women's competition and obviously the first two games of the men's Trans-Tasman Cup, which comes to Australia for the first time tonight, which is very exciting. Some groundbreaking stuff happening, so we'll get to that later. But firstly, game one of the series, what were your thoughts? We ended up going down by 8 to the Silver Ferns in our bid to try and win back that Constellation Cup.
Well look, it's always a tight game between New Zealand and Australia. I feel like the tension's always there. They always put up a fight, but unfortunately, we just weren't strong enough to come through with the win. But I mean, 8 points, it's still a close competition, but yeah.
It was a good fight back from the Diamonds. I mean, they showed they were quite resilient and definitely clawed their way back in that third quarter. They really matched the intensity, so that was good. One of my favourite moments of that game, though, was actually before the first centre pass even happened. So Amy Parmenter had her debut game for the Diamonds in the green and gold dress, and when they were all lined up singing the Australian anthem, she actually teared up, and as did I watching that. So that was my favourite moment. She was just so proud, and you could see it in her face. It was really nice.
Very special moment for her.
Absolutely. And then that game, so she started on court for that first game. A little later in the game, we had a few injections to give the Diamonds some life. They were struggling a little bit. We had Jamie Lee Price, Sunday Ariang and Kira Austin all came in at different points in the game. And then towards the end of the fourth quarter, Sophie Garvin and Steph Wood gave the Ferns defence a little bit of a different challenge, a combo we haven't really seen before. But it seemed to be quite a good combo, something we'll look forward to.
Yeah, definitely. Steph Wood in goal attack, she always... it's great play from her all the time, and Kira Austin, we saw her especially in the Commonwealth Games, what she can do. So yeah, great group of girls out on the court there.
Absolutely. So final score for that game one, New Zealand 56 defeated Australia 48, and in game two it was another loss for the Diamonds, but just 4 points this time. They kind of controlled the game in the first half, so final score was New Zealand 52 to Australia 48. What were your thoughts on that game?
Well, yeah, definitely there as well. You can see that they've pushed back and brought the score closer together in the end, so obviously just lifting that intensity, matching the play a bit better, which is still a really good effort for the Diamonds to see that they're pushing their way back to try and get to the top again.
Well, we've talked a lot about the Aussies, obviously we're Aussie fans, but one thing I think we have to mention is 20-year-old go shooter for the Silver Ferns, Grace Nweki, has been incredible. There's no other way to sum it up.
Unbelievable to watch. She just does not miss.
Absolutely. So we will now throw to an interview that I recorded earlier with Australian men's captain Liam Couchy.
Just come off a tough training session ahead of the decider. How are you feeling?
I'm feeling fantastic. Yeah, the tough ones are always the good ones. The team's prepared, we're ready to go, and we're going to put on a show.
And so first game in Australia tonight, a first for the country in the men's competition. How is that? Exciting to play on home soil?
Well, playing the first men's game in Australia is fantastic. The guys are really pumped about it, and we're looking forward to having a good time, having all our fans there, and maybe getting a win.
And if you get the win, it'll be a good excitement booster ahead of the girls' third game as well?
If we get a win, the country will party all weekend. All weekend, we won't stop. We'll be everywhere, so it'll be fantastic.
And so first two games are in New Zealand. You got the win in the first game over New Zealand and lost the second, so the decider's really going to tell all, isn't it?
Yeah, the first two games, one very good one very rough one. We decided we have to change some things up in the third game, or else we're in a bit of trouble. So the third one is a very exciting game, great opportunity to put them away.
And now you're the goal attack for the team, and as the captain, you're a bit of a leader. So how do you guys felt you've been playing out of attack?
Well, in our attack, I think we've been, if I say so myself, superstars. I think our defence is letting us down a bit, but we have been phenomenal. Me and the other attackers have just really put on a show, and I think if the defence can get their end up, we are definitely winning.
And so you think the defence is an area you need to improve on the most? They've got some strong shooters, New Zealand.
Yes, our defence is an area that we definitely need to improve in. They've been a bit off, but if I know them well, and I do, they will bounce back. They want the win.
Anything else you'd like to add lastly before the decider tonight?
I'd just like to add hi to my mum. She's our biggest fan. She brings the oranges to all our games, and she's really willed us on for these wins. So yeah, thanks. Go Australia!
And we're back from that interview with Australian men's captain Liam Couchy, who touched on their first 2 games against New Zealand. The first one, Australia was victorious, 64 to New Zealand's 48, whereas the second game, New Zealand come back from a 26-goal turnaround to win 56 to 46. So tonight's the decider for the men.
Very exciting for them. He did seem confident though.
He did.
I think they might have what it takes to come through and win the cup, and that would be very, very exciting for them.
Certainly hope so. On Australian soil for the first time would be a great curtain raiser game for ahead of the girls. So
Definitely.
Game 3 for our women. It's they're currently down 2-0 unfortunately, but I think we've got what it takes. First game on home soil here in Melbourne tonight. So let's hope the girls can do it. We've got Jo Weston back in. That's a huge inclusion to the Diamonds lineup.
Definitely, yeah.
All right. Well, we wish the girls the best of luck, and we'll catch you back post game here on Fox Netball.